last born. So I grew up in this town where you would see somebody like the probability of getting to a tertiary education was barely existent, right? So I started my education here before RC Primary School, from class 1 to class 6, which I had an amazing experience. Um, Progressed to before LHS. Um, I was there a couple of months ago, and the place was still the same as it was. It brought back very, very good memories. So that is where I started. And then after that, I went on to my first senior high school, which is Asokore Amat. I'm told now it is, a single-sex school now. But those days it was a mixed school. So I did 1 year of general art. The story about why I ended up in Asokore Amat is very funny. I got my results. Obviously, it wasn't that good. So I packed my things. I went to the real Amat to see whether I got admission there. So when I got there, unfortunately, the headmaster looked at my results and said, "No, this is not the Amat that you chose. It's the other Amat." So I had to go on and move to Asokore Amat and do. I actually did 1 year of uh, 1 year of general art, right? Before I decided that I wanted to do science. So I came back down to Ashanti region and came to Jamana Kente Senior High School, right? So, Jamana Kente Senior High School is in Offenso. I came there because my elder brothers, most of them passed through this school. So it was, like a family school for us. So I came there as a science student, um, through the support of family and teachers. I was able to make the grade, which wasn't really the best, but it's a qualifying grade to the university. So I got into the University of Ghana. At that time, it was biological science. We used to call it Champions League, right? So you are all in the same class, level 100. You battle it out. Whoever survives, you go for an interview in Kolebu, and then you are picked for medical school. So luckily, I came in. I put in the work. I got the interview, and then I was offered to attend medical school. So this was really the first point in my life that I thought that my dreams were gradually coming into reality. It was really a surreal moment for me. So once I went through medical training, I knew that eventually I would have to be, in the global space. I want to, impact lives that are beyond, just the consulting room. So post-medical school, I joined the Ghana Armed Forces, graduated as the overall best cadet in 2014. Went for a couple of UN peacekeeping missions. And then beyond that, I realized that, clinical practice is not the only way to impact life, or clinical practice is not the only way to save a life. So what I did was that I needed to have additional experience or additional qualification, for example, in public health and then business administration. Because what I realized is that in the clinical realm in Ghana, most physicians assume that they are leaders without a proper training, and leadership is taught and it's learned. So the fact that you have a medical background doesn't necessarily make you a good leader. So with a formal training, you'll be able to understand how business and health come together to improve health of individuals. So what happened? I applied to multiple schools. At that time, honestly, I was settling for any graduate school at all. But when the results started coming in, when the offers started coming in, it was really, really unbelievable. So, from schools like Emory and the rest, I got admission. But the ones that truly made me realize that, these things are possible was the fact that my first offer was from Yale University, which was like an Ivy League, one of the best in the world. I got admission from Yale. It was an incredible feeling. And then I had an admission from Columbia, which was also like one of the best, right?
Yeah.
And then, the following week, I had an offer from Harvard. And I was like, wow, this is really getting somewhere, right? But in my mind, all I wanted to, the school that I wanted to go was Johns Hopkins, because I felt that I was interested in, when it comes to public health, when it comes to the sciences, they are really, really good. So I was offered an admission to Hopkins as a dual degree student, an MPH and MBA. And they have this program called the Soma Scholars Program. So that was really the icing on the cake. So, I chose Hopkins because I know people usually say, oh, you got Harvard, you got Hopkins, why did you decide to go to Hopkins, right? The idea is that, for the past several years, Johns Hopkins has consistently been the #1 school of public health in the world, right? And, the cohort, the mixture of students from around the world is incredible. And their dual degree is one of the best. So that is the reason why, right? And when it comes to research, Johns Hopkins has led, has led the field for over 41 years. So this is truly a great institution to be, right? So I was a summer scholar from 2018 to 2020. We have the, fancy journal that your profile is in, whatever you want to do. So it was really an amazing experience. After about the time I was graduating, I got this message that I've been selected as one of the most outstanding students in Johns Hopkins for the business field. Bear in mind that prior to this, I've never had any business training. So this was really an incredible achievement. So I'm currently part of the International Business Finance Society called Beta Gamma Sigma. So that was my academic journey. And then once I came back to Ghana, my mates who are also doing amazingly well in their field decided to select me as, the alumni with the most impact in our cohort. So I'm originally the class of 2011. So in the 60th anniversary of the University of Ghana Medical School, I was nominated by my colleagues to be one of, the alumni with the most impact. And this was really an unbelievable feeling. I worked briefly with the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change for almost a year, and then moved on to something else. I was really engaged with the media, trying to, communicate science to the level where everybody understands it, because the most important part of science is not the research, it's not the use of jargons, but being able to dissect the elements for common people to understand what you're really talking about. And I'm also actively engaged in mentorship, help students who want to move on to graduate school, help guide them get into schools that they really want to do. And I feel that this is one of the things that I can do to help students in this particular regard, right? So currently, I'm a PhD student at the Johns Hopkins. I'm in infectious disease epidemiology track, and I'm looking forward to really telling this story for people to understand, that wherever you move or wherever you come from, there is a place for you. Okay, I'm also a research associate at the International Vaccine Access Center. Okay, so this is my story, and I'm saying this, right, to let you know that wherever you start from, you can start from, a very bad foundation or a good foundation and still end up in one of the best schools in the world, right? Now, let's talk about STEM, okay? Let's talk about STEM. I know that, sometimes people say, oh, school is not important. Let's do some work which will give us money. That's good. But I want people to understand that if you really want to make, the most amount of, living, or if you want to be really comfortable, you can be a scientist and still be comfortable. The field of science is such that every particular innovation, right, every significant innovation is tied to science. And individuals who are currently in the list of the world's billionaires, most of them have a science background. You can check for yourself. Elon Musk was an engineering student. Jeff Bezos did an engineering. Bill Gates, software. Larry Ellison, software engineering. So these people have made science very.
Hello, doctor. Hello, Dr. Banda. Can you hear me?
Very comfortable living for yourself.
We're back.
School is definitely important, and STEM is the most important field that you can be in. More like, the field that gives you the edge or the stepping stone for you to achieve greater things. So whether you want to be in business or you want to be, in elsewhere, science is a great place to be, right? So I usually tell my mentees that, as a science student, right from senior high school, they are very powerful tools that you really need to understand if you want to move on. If you want to achieve your target, these three tools will help you understand whatever you need. Now, the first powerful tool is for you to understand or know what you want. Okay? So the ability to know what you want is in itself a very good achievement. So you decide on what you want to do as early as possible. It shouldn't be, it cannot be very specific. You can say that perhaps I want to be an engineer, but you don't know the specific type of engineer that you want to be. You want to be a doctor. There isn't a specific field of medicine that you want to be. Or you want to be, a business mogul. It doesn't, you can have a field of interest and then you work towards the plan. Because if you don't plan, there is no way you're going to get to where you want to be. So ability to know what you want. So you are in SS, you are in level 100 engineering class or science class or, medical school. Try and, put some lists together. Even if it's 5, know the areas that interest you and know where you want to go. So that is the first powerful tool. And then the second one is the ability to figure out what it takes, right? You say you want to be a software engineer. What do you have to do to get there, right? So this is the point where you need to cut off a lot of stuff. If you're having friends that are not like yourself, that don't have a long-term goal, this is the time to part ways with them, right? You surround yourself with people who motivate you, people who make you exceed your limit, okay? So that is the ability to figure out what it takes. Know the grades you need in order to get the best schools in the world. Know the kind of recommendation letters you need in order to get to the best schools in the world, okay? So know what you want, figure out what it takes, and then the third powerful tool is staying consistent. Okay, consistency is the key to success, right? Irrespective of how naturally talented you are, if you don't consistently train your mind, there's no way you get to where you want to be. So consistency is key. Okay, so these are the 3 powerful tools that I usually share with my mentees. And of course, we are in a highly competitive environment, a highly competitive global space. These guiding principles can, help you get to the top of the ladder, okay? So number 1 is avoid a comparison trap, okay? So we all have different backgrounds. We all, come from different areas. our family's economic situation may not be the same. So there's no point comparing yourself to somebody else. Right? You can be in the same class, somebody is driving a Jeep, you're walking to class, it doesn't matter. You don't have to compare yourself to them. If you're in a class, somebody is consistently in the first position, the idea is for you to also be at your best. You don't have to compare yourself with anybody because our reference points are different. So this is really an important concept. If you avoid comparing yourself to others, you realize that you're almost all the time content with what you have and you will be happy going forward. So avoid the trap. And then two, if you are in the STEM field or whichever field you are, you have to identify a mentor. Okay? So you are in STEM, you want to be a software engineer. Who do you want to be like? Or who has been in that field that can guide you to get to what you want? To identify a mentor. I realize that mentorship is not really a thing in Ghana, but I must say that with the good mentor, you will be able to move through your journey without any hassle. Mentorship is really, really crucial. I didn't understand the concept of mentorship until after medical school, right? Which was really, a very disadvantaged thing, right? So identify a mentor that can guide you, okay, from the start. They've been there, they know what to take, they know what you have to do in order to get there. So this mentorship concept is truly, truly important in the field of STEM. And then, as the world is changing, you need to build a portfolio such that you don't keep yourself boxed in one place. Okay? You can be a medical doctor and still be a businessman. You can be an engineer and still be a businessman. You don't have to be one. Okay? So you have to build your profile in such a way that if there's a topic that is not in your field, you will be able to at least contribute meaningfully to the discussion. So that is the point of building a portfolio that is right-shaped. Okay? You don't have to say, oh, I'm a doctor, so everything I know is about medicine. If we move to, let's say, human rights, or we move to business ideas, or we move to this, I can't say a word about that. That is a bad profile to have. So you have to build a wide-shaped portfolio. Okay? And then networking. I know, like, in Ghana, we say it's corruption, but elsewhere it's called networking. Okay? Networking is an incredible tool. And you have to build important networks right from start. The schools you go to, the people you interact with, those people will determine, by and large, the opportunities that come your way. Okay? So networking is an incredible tool. It's very powerful, and it's very, very imperative that students right from senior high school, university level will start to learn this particular skill. And then consistency, I've spoken about this already. Take small steps in the right direction. You don't have to wait till the last minute to make a very important decision. You have to start early, and step by step, you get to where you want to be. Okay. And then number 6, avoid the trap of immediate reward. Okay. Immediate reward, and rather invest in skill and experience. Okay. I realized it because after medical school, I spent a lot of time doing what is called locum. Right? I'm not saying locum is not good. I spent some time doing locum, and I realized that the reason why I was doing those locums was because of the immediate reward I'll get. It was because of the daily cash I'll get, right? And I totally abandoned building the skill and the experience that is needed to propel me in the next phase of my career. So I know, situations may be tough, but dedicate some time to build your experience, to build your skills, because eventually Your experience and skill will override your immediate reward. Okay, the 50 cities or the 100 cities that you're getting additionally from that hustle that you go to, if you invest that time in improving your skill and improving your experience, eventually the benefits will outweigh that immediate reward. Okay, and then there's something called the comfort zone. Okay, you are in a work environment where at the end of the month you get something to survive on, so you are fairly okay. So you decide that there's nothing more to do, right? That is your comfort zone, and that means that you are not really in an environment that helps you grow. If you want to grow, you need a challenging environment. You need a challenging encounter, okay? You need a place that will stimulate you, that will stretch you, that lets you understand that whatever you want to do, you have to move from your comfort zone. Growth only takes place when you have moved from your comfort zone. So whatever you're doing, if there's something that you need to achieve, there's a time for you to start the process and get it done, okay? And then branding. Why do I say branding? Because I've seen it a couple of times. I've experienced it. Don't settle for less. If you can get the best, go for the best. If you can get the best institution, go for the best institution. If you can get the best university, get the best university. Because eventually, the people you meet on your way up will determine your rate of progress. Okay, I know most of us who attended less endowed schools, the branding at the initial part was not there. But eventually, if you put your mind to it and you can achieve something and know that this is where I can get to, don't settle for less. Especially if you are taking up graduate school, get the best graduate school you can have. Okay? And then there's no excuse. No matter what happens, you can't give an excuse. Life is not fair, right? You don't decide who your parents are. You don't decide where you're born. So, wherever you're born, you have to understand that you have to make use of what you have. Okay? And then expand your skill. Get multiple skills, because you don't know where each of them will end up. And at the bedrock of this, okay, at the bottom of this is what I call the bedrock of networking. So the bedrock of networking is to appreciate that wherever you go, your journey cannot be successful if you don't have a supporting family. So always keep in mind that wherever you reach, you have to appreciate the support that you get from your family and from your friends. Okay, so as I'm ending, the takeaway is that branding is important. Network, avoid immediate reward, and truly build a wide-scale portfolio that will differentiate you from the rest of your cohorts. So I'll end here, and if you want to reach me, the easiest way to reach me is on LinkedIn. You can reach out with questions if you want, guidance, or any particular thing that you are interested in. So thank you very much. I think I'll pause here and then wait for questions and then answer them appropriately.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banda AA Khalifa. Let me go on to say I already said you're a doctor, but you have an MPH, Master in Public Health, and also a Master in Business Administration, and you are currently a PhD candidate. What is it in infectious disease epidemiology? Is that right? Can you hear me, sir? Nonetheless, let's hear from our sponsors and we'll be back with our questions.
doing it for, we'll help you get it done. Simply. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
come join us.
Pakuli.
Jasonyani.
We are Iti Battalion.
Self-Ranadia.
Bien Ujman.
Brabe Kayan. Ow, Amanasat Shamigo.
As we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.
Alande, make I walk you through my everyday life. Busy from the morning light. My to-do list long, shadow fit to overlap. So sharp, turn on mobile app. School fees check, light bills check. No, I'm with speed like a G4 jet. If you had a day, I am not upset. Check, I don't even use checks, see they check.
Join the ABSA family and make fast, easy, and safe transactions with our digital products. Log on to absa.com.gh. No long tail. We like them simple and easy.
Believe me, no long tense in my life. Like I'm simple and easy.
Whoever you're doing it for, we'll help you get it done. Simply. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
come join us.
Pakuli.
Jasonyani.
We are Iti Battalion.
Self-Ranadia.
Bien Ujman.
Brabe Kayan. Ow, Amanasat Shamigo.
As we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.
Alande, make I walk you through my everyday life. Busy from the morning light. My to-do list long, shadow fit to overlap. So shop, turn on mobile app. School fees check, light bills check. Though I'm with speed like a G4 jet. The other day I am not upset. Check, I don't even use checks, so they check.
Join the ABSA family and make fast, easy, and safe transactions with our digital products. Log on to absa.com.gh. No long tail. We like them simple and easy.
Believe me, no long things in my life. No, like I'm simple and easy.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
Come join us.
Pakuli.
Yes, Onyani.
We are 80 battalion.
Self-Ranabia.
Bien rejoindre.
Brabe Kayam. Ow, हमारे साथ शामिल हो जाओ.
As we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.
Thank you so much. It has been exciting. Such a wonderful exposition of the life of Dr. Banda AA Khalifa, straight to the point, with takeaways, with guiding principles. What else do you want? You just need to continue to stick and stay with us on the STEM Festival mentorship sessions. We're live, NSMQ Facebook page. We're live, STEM Festival, and also on Joy Learning. So please continue with us next week for the next 3 sessions, and I promise you will not regret it. Doc, we see that there's some shout-outs coming to you. I believe some of your juniors from Jamina Kenting are sending, you know. So there's one from Dise. I hope I got that right. He's saying, Jamina Kenting SHS is so proud of you. Senior Banda to the whole Yasi. There's also one from Dixon. Dixon is saying, you have a very nice background. Yes, I already commented on that. Well, your academic journey, as well as the Johns Hopkins University background that you're on as well, both are very nice. Doc, we just want to go into a bit of what you shared with us and then try to elicit some more takeaways for our audience. And then, yes, please. So I want to touch on the first thing that you mentioned about leadership and your realization that just being an MD is not enough, and rising through the ranks, maybe from a senior resident, then you go on to being director, and then the likes. It's not just enough, but you thought that the added learning, and that's why you did your MBA. And you said that the MBA gives you the opportunity to gives you training to become a good leader. So for us, we want to understand, what is this add-on that this gives you, so that we are then pushed to say, okay, being an MD is not just enough, but I need to strive and do an MBA on top of that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you've been through our system in Ghana, our training, it's quite limited, right? So throughout medical school, nobody teaches you how to lead people. Nobody teaches you the element of prioritizing resources, which is extremely crucial in our setting where resources are limited. Nobody teaches you how to communicate, how to advocate for projects to be done in your hospital or in your clinic. Nobody teaches you how to manage people, right? Nobody even teaches you how to manage your finances, right? So all you do is, learn the anatomy, learn the physiology, and then, move through the ranks, and then eventually you realize you're a leader. And then there are basic elements of leadership that you lack, There are basic elements of communication that you lack. There are basic elements of advocacy that you lack. So the MBA gives you an additional competency or some level of competencies that you will never get in our kind of training in Ghana. Okay, so it teaches you teamwork, how to be in teams, how to work in teams in the realization of a common objective or a common goal. It also teaches you how to, approach a particular problem, right? A problem-solving approach for healthcare leaders is something that is very unique to health-related, schools that are doing MBAs. So these things are very crucial, okay? Managing people is not about title, okay?
No.
And there are specific skills that you need to acquire in order to be a very good manager or a very good leader, okay? Understanding the nuances in leadership, the nuances in budgeting, the nuances in being able to harness people, personnel into a common goal is very crucial. So these are some of the soft skills that once you don't learn them, it becomes very difficult for you to lead people, irrespective of the amount of qualifications you have. So definitely I've also realized that these days a lot of doctors in Ghana are getting an additional graduate degree outside of their clinical practice. So this is very recommendable, and this is very, very important for us to realize that MD alone is not enough for you to be a leader, especially in this contemporary healthcare industry, where you need to make very strategic decisions. You have to get an added-on experience or skill.
No, thank you. Indeed, this is so much in line with our theme, nurturing tomorrow's generation of STEM leaders. So yes, you have the STEM background, now you're a leader, and this is what Doctor is recommending, that we should look out for. These are the skills that we need to make us that choice leader in STEM that we all want to be. Doc, I know that you've given us this bit, but I believe that there were some lessons from the STEM background that you leverage on during the MBA session. Could you share?
Yes. So I mean, during my time in the business school, even before I began, I was a bit worried because I have no business background, and how am I going to survive in this environment where most of the people I'm having in my class have a background in business. They have a BSc in business administration, they have a BSc in economics and all that. But the whole idea is that as a science student or as a STEM student, what you have built is being able to solve problems, no matter how complex they are. And if you're a science student in Ghana, then I can say that you are even in a better place because your theoretical knowledge, okay, is very solid. Your ability to understand concepts, no matter how difficult it is very, very good. Okay, so as a science student, I've learned, I've learned physics, I've learned chemistry, I've learned electric math. So a little bit of business jargon or formula will not scare you.
Right.
Okay. So if you have this background, you have this quantitative background and a problem-solving background, it becomes very easy for you to fit in a space where it's mainly quantitative. So even if you take macroeconomics or if you take financial accounting or else, it is still, the basic principle is still quantitative. If you're good in quantitative skills or analytical skills, you can survive in most of these fields. So I understood that it was really going to take an extra effort in order to be at how we do to have the business background. But once that level is reached, your potential is really, really high, right? So I leveraged on the skills that I have in the analytical area, the skills that I have in the quant area, to really try and understand the basics of what I needed to. And it was by the second term, I was at the same level with all my mates, even those with a business background. So STEM is incredibly a good space to be. The analytics that you're learning, the quantitative skills that you're learning, ability to come up with real solutions to problems really helps you to adapt in whichever field that you find.
Absolutely, adaptability, and that's really powerful. Doc, let's go look at your 3 powerful tools that you shared with us. First, we need to know, and which is ability to know what you want. The third one being what, which is the ability to figure out what it takes to really achieve that which you want. And then 3, now that you know that which you want and what it takes, you need consistency to actually get you there. I just want us to just go into your mind and what your internal engine is. If I'm trying to know what it is I want, what should be going through my mind? Because there's a lot going on around us, a lot of distractions and what have you. But how do we really pinpoint these 4 things, and then let me narrow down, focus, get to know what it takes, and then with consistency, achieve them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible area to look at, because as you may be aware, in this time and age, there are a lot of distractions. All right, social media take all the elements that take your time away. It becomes increasingly challenging for you to identify or keep your focus towards one particular area. So for me, what I find very useful is that whilst I was in senior high school, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, right?
Okay.
So that was the mindset. So I knew what I wanted to be, and I also realized that no matter how you want something, you may not get it, no matter how hard you try. So it's good for you to have some backup. Okay, so I have some backup around that. If medical school doesn't work out, this is my next plan. Okay, but being able to list like 2 or 3 elements is very crucial, and you can do this by consulting, people who have been in that space. Even at this point, there is a particular niche I want to create for myself.
Yeah.
So I find people in that niche, I connect with them, I find out exactly what I have to do, the courses I have to take during my PhD, the certificate I have to get during my PhD in order to position me to get to that level or to get to that space. Okay, so knowing what you want also depends on the people you talk to. You want to be a doctor. Have you spoken to any doctor, right? Have you gotten enough information from your own research on the space, on what actually you need in order to decide on that field? And then going forward, once you know this, then you ask yourself, if I want to go to medical school at this time, what do I have to do? What grades do I have to get? Which particular subject do I have to excel in? Okay? It's the same thing. If you want to go to graduate school, let's say you want to go to the best graduate schools, what undergraduate GPA do I need in order to give me a fair shot? What kind of recommendation letters that I will need in order to get a very good chance of getting a good school and a good scholarship, right? How should I write my statement of purpose? All these come, add on to the elements you need in order to get to what you want, okay? And then the consistency part is extremely crucial. You can, for those who love football or soccer, it is clear that, if you compare Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, one is about consistency, consistently training, okay? If you're a student, consistently learning is what you set you apart from your mates. Okay, it will set you apart from those who wait till 1 week before exam before they start learning. It will set you apart from those who wait till a week before the deadline to submit an assignment before they even try doing the assignment. Okay, so consistently, no matter how small each step is, it's a very powerful tool for you to use in order to get to what you have. Okay, so I mean, when I was doing my master's degree, I was doing 2 masters. I was working for 2 departments,
Right.
and I was in in the hardest concentration as far as the Master of Public Health is concerned, right? And I was able to go through this because I know what I have to do. I ensure that I stayed organized, and every chance I get, consistency, I put in the work. Okay, I don't wait till deadlines approach. I don't wait till it's too late before I start. So these elements, it's what really should guide people who are really interested in getting to the next level.
No, thank you. Let me just use this as a segue into just going over the guiding principles for Dr. Banda, which all of us are looking for. I'm looking for you to adopt as well. First bit is avoid the comparison trap. The second one is find mentors, get a board of advisors. We had this also from Danielle Chum we met at the launch. Have a Y-shaped portfolio. Doc, you will be telling us what your Y-shaped portfolio looks like. If you were not an MD, MPH, MBA, PhD, C today, what would you have been? Also, number 4, build important networks. Number 5, take small steps in the right direction. In the right direction is underlined here, and that sums up consistency. Guiding principle number 6, experience and skill override immediate reward, and that helps you to stay focused. Thank you so much for that. Number 7, the trap of the comfort zone. We need to look at growth. Let us not settle. Number 8, branding is crucial. Number 9, there's no room for excuses. Life is not fair. It gives you lemons. Just make lemonades and enjoy your time. And finally, expand your skills. So Doc, coming back to you, what your Y-shaped portfolio looks like, and when you say expand skills, what have you added on to this wonderful list that you've chalked, and where are you going on from there?
Yeah, so I mean, expanding your portfolio could easily be as you being an engineer and then have a business experience or a business knowledge, or you being a medical doctor and then having a really solid background in law. Okay, so my portfolio, or the way I want to look at this, is that I am primarily a health personnel. Okay, I'm a public health personnel, but if I want to differentiate myself from other health personnel or other people in the health space, then I'll need an extra skill or an extra knowledge, an area where once we veered into, most of the time I'll be the main person to consult. Okay, so the business side of health. Okay, the business side of health, how to write proposal, how to do your budgeting, how to interpret balance sheet, how to interpret statement of cash flows of organization, and all that. So this gives you another area that broadens your portfolio. Okay, in your own way, you can also learn other skills. So the other skill that I'm learning now is coding. Okay, because that is where the world is heading to. So you can learn this skill. You have the health background, you have the business background, you have the software or the tech background, which should be enough to set you apart from most people in the health field. So the idea of the white coat portfolio is for you to say, this is what I have, and this is what separates me from my primary cohort or from my primary colleagues, right? And this doesn't necessarily have to be that you are going through another formal school in order to body your portfolio. These days, whatever you want to learn, you can learn it online, okay? Whatever you want to learn can be learned online. So get those skills, a skill like even video editing or film editing, videography, designing, right? These are incredible tools that in this time of the world, if you have these set of skills, you'll be able to differentiate yourself from the rest of your cohort.
Thank you so much, Doc. Very nice way to conclude our session with you. Expand your skills, have a Y-shaped portfolio, and especially the 3 powerful tools that you've shared with us. Thank you so much for these insights into your life and the wonderful story, though humble, but the sky is indeed our limit. We'll be here on Monday. Please stick and stay. You can spend the weekend to look at today's session and the sessions that we've had over the past maybe 10 days. Please do, and then refresh your memory, get the nuggets in there. And of course, you're on your journey to becoming tomorrow's generation of STEM leaders. My name is Lucy Akosia Fiajonu. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Whoever you're doing it for, we'll help you get it done. Simply. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Today, the question is no longer, why do we have problems? But rather, how can we spin those challenges into opportunities? This is the revolutionary mindset we, students here at Academic City, are driven by. Academic City, we believe that the challenges of today are nothing like the opportunities of tomorrow. Hence, we're poised for the future. And so we say,
Come join us.
Pakuli.
Yes, Nyani.
BAA Battalion.
Self-Ranadia.
Bien rejoindre.
Brabe Kayam. आओ हमारे साथ शामिल हो जाओ.
As we lead the charge to empower the next generation of future leaders. Academic City University College, redefining university education.